Welcome to Finding the Voices. I am Monica Ingatam. Welcome to Finding the Voices. Today we have a very special guest, first-time author, joining us from Germany. We have Tamara Reisdorf. Tamara is going to share a little bit about her journey, about being a first-time author and also participating in NaNoWrimo. So welcome to our show, Tamara.
Hello, I am Tamara Reisdorf. I am 24 years old and I live in Marburg, Germany. And currently I'm getting my master's degree in educational science and social work. And I also work and am an advocate for compassion, empathy, and spreading kindness.
All right, excellent. So how did you get into writing? What kind of inspired you to participate into 2015 NaNoWrimo?
Yes, I write since I am 13 years old, but only for myself and only like short stories or articles. And I always wanted to write a book, but I love books so much, but I never did it. So last year I heard about NaNoWrimo, but it was too short before November, so I marked it for this year. And then I thought, okay, that's my chance to do it.
So what did you write about?
I wrote a book. I created a little figure called Alma, and the main topic from my book is grief and how children deal with grief, because in my academic career I focused on grief and death and mourning, and I wanted to show this from an unacademic view, and I wanted to have an 11-year-old main character, Prim, whose sister died in an accident.
So what you had written is based on facts, but it was fiction writing, or what was your writing?
I made the story up. It takes place in our world in Scotland, but there's a little fantasy figure called Alma who gets sent to the child, to Prim, and together they make the journey towards grief and the things that follow when someone dies, like memories, flashbacks, and family functions, and how Prim, her moms, and her brother deal with the death of the sister.
Okay, so it's based on a real story.
No, it is. I made it up, but it is.
Okay. So you did have a real story, but you're writing it as a fiction with more other aspects and. Yes. Okay, got it. So how did it go for NaNoWrimo? Being a first-time writer, did it work out? The whole concept of coming up and writing continuously in 1 month, how did it go with you? Like, did you write every day? Did you have a word count?
Yes, so my main idea came up in June, July this year. And then I carried around a little notebook to add all my ideas. And I just, I came up with the characters and draw little drawings about the characters. And shortly before NaNoWrimo, I sent a message to family and friends and told them what I'm up to and asked them for support and to be patient if I do not answer any telephone calls or mails. Yes, and then I started on the 1st of November. And I wrote every single day. And the first 3 weeks, I wrote about 2,000 words each day. And
wow. Yeah, that's good. So you could keep up, and you had a routine of writing, like around 2,000 words per day.
Yes, and yes, I figured out that I could write best at home. I tried to write in cafes or libraries, but I didn't like it much, so I just sat here in my flat and wrote, mostly in the mornings. Yes, but I found that the last week was the hardest week.
Was it the pressure, like the pressure that, oh my God, I have to finish like 50,000 words?
Yes, it was clear that I can make the 50,000 words, but I found it so hard to find the ending and to calculate how many stories I can still put in and how many actions until it is finished. So this was a bit hard.
Okay. Yeah, means like in the beginning you did, had notes on what you wanted to write, so you started writing on those notes, expanding the story, but at the end it was the number of counts, the days are less, and also the ending you were not really sure how to kind of end it off.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So, but did you finish the 50,000 word count before, the last day of November, or it was like you held on till the last day?
I finished the 50,000 words on Friday, and the last day was a Monday, but I kept on writing every day, so the weekend until the Monday. So I still wrote every day of November. Yes.
Okay. So what do you think? Like, do you think that your aspiration of writing and, the whole concept of NaNoWriMo, did it help you in pushing you and, at least now you have everything written? It is the first draft, but still you have it written out. So do you think it helped you? Would you recommend it to, anybody who is starting new?
Yes, absolutely. I really love participating, and I find the site and the resources so helpful. And there's a huge community, like there are meetings and chats and Twitter help, and that I think that is very important, and to keep you on track and to stay motivated. And for me, it was such a great experience, a month, and to know that you're not alone and so many people are also participating is also a great feeling.
All right. So now that you have your first draft, I guess a little more than 50,000 words, what next? Are you planning to publish it?
Yes. First, there's a revision. I try to revise it with family and friends and read it through. But I will try to find a publisher next year. And I hope that, I will be successful to find someone. I know it is a hard topic to write about child grief, and it's often a topic that is not often talked about. But I hope that I can inspire someone and get the attention to that it is an important topic. Yes, and I hope that I just connect the dots and that I make people feel something with my words.
Wow, yeah, I wish you good luck, and I'm sure next year I will see your book published and I can get it to read. So definitely you have to message me back, once it is being published.
Yeah.
One other question which I wanted to ask was, being a writer, I'm sure you do read a lot of books. So can you share what kind of books you read? What do you like?
Yes. So as you may see in the background, I have a lot of books which are color themed in my shelf.
Yeah.
Yes, I love to read, and my favorite book is The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer. And it is about the art of asking and about connection and art, which I really enjoy, and I learned so much from it. And other books I read are just a lot of fantasy books and books about art, and yes, I really enjoy it.
Okay, all right. So do you read regularly?
Yes, I try to read every day, at least before I go to bed or in my lunch break or something. So yes, I try to fit it in every day because I find it very comforting and very enjoyable.
Talking a little bit in detail about the book which you have written, like you spoke, you wanted to focus more on grief, loss and death. Just wanted to get a sense of your background on, how you are putting particularly interested in writing about this?
I am a social worker and currently getting my master's degree in educational science, and I'm writing my thesis about the death in children books. And I focus on death and would love to make an education and becoming a person who helps grieving people. And so this is a very natural topic for me. And I think it's often a topic that not a lot of people talk about. And I want to say it's okay to talk about it, and it's natural, and it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to be loud and quiet at the same time. And that's what I wanted to show in my book, and especially that children who go through this, it's perfectly normal and an important part for them.
Okay, so do you mind sharing bits and pieces or a little bit glimpse of what you have written, or some extracts out of it?
I don't mind sharing it, but it is written in German, so.
Oh, okay, I see. So what you have written is in German language.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see. So I guess I'll have to wait for the translation to read.
Yes, but hopefully there's going to be a translation.
Okay, yeah, but okay, so now I'm really interested, because you mentioned, about grief and loss, and particularly from the perspective from a child.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just to, I guess, let you share some quotation or, I don't know, incidents, what you have written in your book, just to give us a glimpse.
Yeah. So, for example, I have written about the first day when my main character, Prim, goes back to school after her sister died. And I have written about her experience of feeling very lonely because she first acknowledged that the world still keeps going around and people are going to school and teachers are giving homework. But for her, it feels so unnatural because for her, the world has stopped. And then in school, she sees that it's not that for everyone, and that makes her feel very isolated. And at the end, she just left school middle class because she's so upset and cries and just runs to a forest where she finds shelter and just is there by herself to get to know that feeling. And that is also the point when she meets Alma, the little fantasy figure, who's got sent to her. She is from a different star, and she's there to help her through the grief. And then Alma explains to her and talks to her and listens to her, which is a big part, I think, because children are not often listened to, especially when they are grieving. So then Prim experience that someone is really listening to her. Yes, and that is, I think, a daily occurrence which I wrote down and which I explained in the book.
Okay, so as part of your studies, you shared that you have to deal with I guess you are dealing with children and studying how the process is being done, right? So how does it affect you? Because I'm assuming that you are also in the part of the process, and even though it is not your personal loss, you see it very closely from the person you are interviewing or you're studying. So how do you deal with that, and how does it impact you?
The first lesson I learned is that death and grieving affects everyone, and that there's no way around in life, because people, animals, plants, everything is mortal, so there's no way to escape death or grieving. And when I see people grieving, it's often that I feel more compassionate and empathetic about my own life and the people I see, and I am more grateful because I can see them, and I do not have a loss right now, but I know at the same time that it could be, which makes every moment much more precious. And when I come home after reading or interviewing someone, it is often that I'm just very grateful for the things I have. And I also know that it is important for other people who lost someone to find this gratefulness again, but in their own space and in their own time, because everyone needs a lot of time, and the time that he personally needs to show this.
Okay. So in your experience, based on your studies and your personal interaction with people whom you had to study, what was the best approach a person could approach grieving and come out strongly out of the experience?
Do you mean for someone who is helping the person or for the grieving person himself?
The grieving person himself or herself.
I think the most important thing is to have patience and to have empathy for yourself, because often you think you feel guilty if you feel something happy again, or you feel guilty because the person who you lost cannot experience the thing that you are feeling. So I think the most important thing is to be compassionate with yourself, and it is okay that you are grieving. It's okay that you are very, very vulnerable in this time, but it's also okay to take your time and to ask people to help you.
Okay. So what about the people around, if your friends or family has some loss, then sometimes I think many people don't know what to say, right, in such situation. People just go, but you don't really know what the other person is expected or what should be the right thing to say, because nobody can really find a right word or right action during that time. So what would, knowing the people who have grieved closely, what would you think the other people around should do to support?
I think the most important thing is that they listen. They should listen to everything that the grieving person has to say, because often there's not enough space and time for them to tell their stories, to tell how they are feeling. But if you truly listen and not think about some other stuffs in your head, but just focus on the person who's grieving and show them that they are important and that you listen to them, I think it's a big help. And also you can ask them what they need. Sometimes people just don't want to talk at all, but sometimes you just can help them by cooking dinner or going grocery shopping or just sitting there and drawing or something. So I think it's important to really ask the other person what they need, because they know at some times what they really want and what they are need for.
Okay, so the main thing is just being around and listen and be there.
Yes, exactly.
So is there any other thing which you want to talk about which I have missed?
No, I think you've covered all.
Okay, so there's one more thing I wanted to ask. So I know that it will take time for you to edit it and then send it, find a publisher and publish it out.
Yeah.
But do you, after this experience, plan to write more?
Yes, I definitely think that I would love to participate again in NaNoWriMo, because it was such a great experience, and it also the first days after I ended my novel, I really missed the characters and missed writing. So I think I would definitely come back to write and also think about what will happen next in my book.
Okay, awesome. All right, so thank you so much for sharing your thoughts today. And I just wanted to have this show to many people. First of all, many people don't know about NaNoWriMo, and you being in Germany, participating this, it's great because it doesn't have any barrier. It's like a community, a global community coming together and writing, what is in your head in 1 month, even though it's a draft. I think it's a great start.
Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me this great opportunity.